And we're live. Hello, folks. Welcome back to ProSocial now.
Yep.
That's been around for 14 years. So, not a new thing. And I don't know if we have anybody online. Oh, I don't have my chat going. I don't
Okay.
know if there's anybody in the chat or not.
Just you and me right now.
I don't even know how to find it. Nope, nope, nope. There. Oh, Phil gave us a chat. Nobody else is here. Oh, well, that's all right. They will watch the recording. We had a few people sign up to learn about this work. Should we tell them about this work?
I think we
What
should.
what we're talking about. So we're creating a course, and that course is about getting teams, especially high performance teams, unstuck and lined up on shared purposes. And so what we're presenting over these crowdcasts is one section of a time at a time. And then over in the course, we, of course, do all of that plus, plus.
Plus, plus stuff.
we explain stuff going on behind the scenes. Uh, so that's what we're up to. Uh, what once you ever get the course, you will notice that we follow a script. So we've now gone off of being loosey goosey, let's say is a good word, about what people say, as we've decided to be not loosey goosey. And we give people literally a script that they can read. You don't have to memorize it, but you can read the script. And within the course later on, we explain many times over why to stick to the script. And remember, I said we envision working with like higher performance teams, pretty stuck folks, and in situations that you want to stick to the script. You, we know how to do this. We've done this, and we know other people that have done it as well. And the the closer you stick to the script, the better. So, with that said, uh, we're not we won't so much go over that today, but we will say that we started with who's important. Well, I'll tell you right now. I will walk in a room, stand there, and did we mention about not being introduced last time?
Yeah, we chatted about that a little bit.
Right. I don't want to be introduced. Phil doesn't want to be introduced. We don't want to be introduced.
Oh.
We just want to be there in that room. Now, we prefer to be standing up with a matrix behind us, like Phil's got a matrix over
I got one
shoulder back there.
right here.
And that's how we prefer to be. And I will say something like, I have found that the best way to start this process is to ask who's important to you. That's what I say. That's my script. We, in the course, we say we blame it on Kevin and Phil. Say Kevin and Phil have said that the best place to start is who's important to you. So we have them blame it on. I can't blame it on. I could blame it on Phil, but
yeah, I could blame it on Kevin too.
All right, but I use that one to say I have found that the best way to start this process is to ask the question, who's important to you? For example, my wife is important to me, and I write down my wife, and that's how we get started. And then after that, of course, I then ask, is there anyone else that would like to share who's important to them? 100% of the time, people share. They always do. So you get a conversation, a bit of a conversation about who's important. So we've established the lower right-hand quadrant. And by the way, they now know that who's important goes into the lower right-hand quadrant. That's where it belongs.
Yep.
So, or those where those belong. So after we do that, then we're going to shift to yucky stuff. And we're going to say, here, I'll say the script to you.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. I don't want to mess it up.
Nope.
Thinking. So we, oh, no, I'm way off. Where am I?
Got it.
Now I'm here. Yucky stuff. So thinking about people. Do you think yucky stuff like fear shows up in people? So ask something like that. Now, the reason we ask it that way, well, why do we ask it that way, Phil? Thinking about people.
Well, because, well, first off, we have people in the room and we're talking to teams, and we know that we've been brought in because they're feeling some kind of way. So the last thing we want to do is get them feeling more that way by asking them about yucky stuff that's showing up inside of them.
Right. We don't, the vernacular would be, we don't want to put them on the spot.
But yeah, call them out.
Call them out, put them on the spot. We don't want to do that. So we're going to purposely talk about people in general. So yucky stuff like fear in general. So now, what kind of yucky stuff shows up in people? And if you wanted to say people out there, that's fine. I mean, you could ad lib that, but
yep.
As long as you're staying on that point that you're not talking about the people in the room's yucky stuff, you're talking about people in general yucky stuff. Why does this work so well? Because people love to gossip. We're all gossipers, and we're very willing to talk about other people's.
We're giving them permission to talk about other people.
Right. They will. You give pretty well any human the opportunity to gossip. They will do so. We know so. We've done this lots of times. I mean, with some really high-powered stuck teams, and they will do this. It's amazing. In a way, it's amazing. And they'll give you fear and anger and frustration and
jealousy.
Jealousy will show up. Fear of failure will show up. I mean, sometimes it's a very robust list. Sometimes it's just a few. Whatever. That's fine. That you're doing. So what are we up to here? Now, I'm not going to go launching into the next thing because we're doing this one section at a time. So what are we doing here? Well, we've actually violated a social norm. So in this course, and if you follow us along, you're learning how to artfully violate a social norm. And that social norm is to talk about the problem first. Hi, I'm Dr. Kevin Polk. I am a clinical psychologist. And I'm here to talk about the problem that you all are having. So are you ready to talk about the problem? Now, the resounding answer to that question inside their heads is no. No. They would rather go get root canals than do that. And so now other people know this and they do warm-up exercises and all that.
Yeah, icebreakers.
Right. We are on purpose beginning a process. we know that we're at step one in a process. And that's why, and when I say the words, I have found that the best place to start, and you heard me say it, this process is to ask who's important. I'm literally telling them the truth.
Yep.
We're starting, I know Phil does this too. I'm not
Yeah.
here. We're literally starting a process that begins with answering the question, who's important to us or to you? That starts the process. That is absolutely 100 no 180 degrees out of phase with starting with the problem. And by the way, that's also why we don't want to be introduced, because they will start to think about they're here for us to talk about the problem, and they'll start going into their holes.
Yeah. Taking evasive action.
Yeah. And sometimes they get nasty with that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh, they go aggressive and stuff. And so
Yeah.
we just learned a long, long time ago. As I said, we've been at this 14 years. We learned a long time ago to not do that and do it this way. So now you see the 1-2 move, which is to, who's important to you, do that, get everybody soothed out that way. And then people have yucky stuff that shows up, like fear. What other kind of yucky stuff shows up in people? And there they go. They talk about it. Related to that yucky stuff is their problem, but they're doing the connecting.
Yeah.
Not us.
Nope.
But we're allowing them to do that connecting at their own pace. However, on some level, they know, but nevertheless, we're not going to talk about that right now. So that's what we're doing. From an ACT point of view, we're also practicing a bit of diffuse. We're talking about yucky stuff out loud, and in an ACT lingo, that's diffusion. Those are the big things going on. So that's what you're up to. And so when your mind thinks, wow, the way I know this stuff is you start talking about the problem first. I better go do that. The social verbal community is telling me to go talk about the problem first. And while I'm about it, I need accolades. So why don't I get introduced first? And
Establishes my credibility to talk about the problem.
and it's not even talk about the problem, to solve the problem.
Well, yeah, now you're the expert, right?
Now you're the expert, and you're going to solve it.
You're in the one-up position.
Right. And guess what? They're going to make damn sure you don't.
They're going to do their best to level that playing field, right? In a hurry.
Now you may be very adept and may be able to win that battle. Okay, I know there are adept people that can do that out there. Hell, in my younger days, I might have been able to.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I don't want to. No. I in no way, shape, or form. So you see what goes on in the social verbal community that's telling you to start with the problem, to start with the yucky stuff, to air stuff out, to talk things out. All of that is absolutely setting you up for failure and setting the group up for failure as well. So ACT is atypical in general. ACT is atypical. And this is based off at least the theory of language and cognition, relational frame theory that ACT is based on. And so, yeah, we're odd ducks. We do stuff differently, but it works. If you do it well, stick to the script and do it well, it works. Because now we got people that are used to chatting it up about who's important. Now they're chatting it up about yucky stuff that shows up in those people out there, right? And I cannot stress it's chatty.
Yeah.
They're chatty.
Yes. And I always get a chuckle because I think to myself, boy, oh boy, they're having a good time talking about their yucky stuff.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening. They know it's their yucky stuff on some level, but they also know they don't have to buy it. They don't have to
No.
own it right now, and so they can have a good time talking about it, and laughing at themselves, and laughing at other people and stuff, and chatting it up about this. So we've gone from what could have been a serious, heavy, very, very sticky conversation, and let me use the word, we've avoided that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We sidestepped.
I mean, sometimes avoiding stuff is very workable, and you want to avoid that. You absolutely want to. So back to just practice in your own mind, practice what you're doing in that. Okay, yeah, okay. So I start with who's important and I don't get introduced. One, don't get introduced. Two, start with who's important. Have a conversation about that. Go to yucky stuff that shows up in other people and have a chat about that. Chatty, 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 chatty. That's what we're doing here. We're on purpose. We do this at will with people. Now, here's the other thing, nothing we do is accidental. Even if somebody tries to put accidental in, we grab right hold of it and throw it right back into the process.
That's right.
They have no chance.
It's all going to go in there.
We're not going to go there.
They don't know. They don't know what they're up against at this point.
Oh no, they're up against people who know what they're doing. Now, if you're going to go take this on, you're going to go buy our course later on and do this. I've thought about this. I thought about this in the night. You got to have gravitas about you.
Yep.
You got to be serious about this. Now you're being serious in the most lighthearted of ways. It's it's just strange world of being serious but not being serious at the same time. But you got to go in saying, okay, my job is to take a stuck team and get them back to working again.
Yeah.
That's it. That's your job. It's not to boost your own ego. It's not to fix their problem. That is not, you're not there to fix their problem. No. You're there to get them on a process for getting to work again, getting back on track and working again. That's it. That's your job. And we just show you a step-by-step guide on how to do that. When you've got 10 to 20 to 50 people in the room with you that at least initially don't want to cooperate with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean. Then no.
Yep.
So if you go, oh, this is easy, I can go in and just chit chat and talk about myself and all that, you will more than likely really go away with your hat in your hand. And if you don't, you might feel okay, but you'll find out later on that they didn't change at all. Mm-hmm. They stayed exactly where they were. They stayed stuck. And then you didn't do your job. Yes. Your job was get unstuck. So, but it's fun work once you learn how to do it. Because it's like any sport. Once you learn how to do the sport, hey, this is sort of fun.
Yep.
But right at first, it's not so much fun. Is a keto that way, Phil?
Absolutely.
Right.
In the beginning, you're just in your head and trying to figure it out. And once you get the process down, get the steps down, the confidence comes, it builds and builds, and then you get to relax and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
and that's this is the same way. So we don't recommend you
yeah,
learn this stuff and go practice it on a
yeah.
heavyweight team. No,
No, but
practice it with your friends and neighbors.
right. And we talked about the script. We mentioned the script here. We'll mention it each time. This is where the script comes in. Like if you're a performer, you're an actor or something, you want to know the script. You want to know your lines, have them down so that you can go in and give the best performance that you can give.
Bingo. That's
Yep.
exactly it. You're going in and giving a performance, and you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You can, but just remember you are. And sort of dry as that sounds, you're going to end up having a good time.
Oh yeah. Very enjoyable.
We enjoy doing this. This is fun. Uh, it's fun because we know how to stick to the script and get back on it if somebody tries to bait us off of it.
Hmm.
But they will. I mean, we don't get mad or anything. We
No.
just take it and get back to what we were doing. So, um, so that's this crowdcast. I don't want to go further because I just want to get anybody who's on familiar with that 1-2 thing and how important it is. I mean, this is your first impression.
Yeah.
That old saying, you can't redo your first impression.
Yeah. This is your opportunity, as they say.
It's your opportunity to just boom, get the process started. Just boom. No, we've tried the other way, folks.
Yeah.
This is not that we always did it this way. We tried the other way of getting introduced and sort of kind of maybe letting them talk about the problem some and this and that, like talk about their workplace and the company they work in and that kind of stuff. We want to hear none of that. None. That's like, what? Oh my gosh, Kevin, what are you saying?
Yeah.
It's not on process.
No.
The
Yeah.
end of story. So we set it up. We don't want to be introduced. Don't introduce. Walk in. Best way to start this is ask who's important to you. Best way to start. I use the word process. Best way to start this process is to ask who's important to you. My wife is important to me because they'll think that maybe it's complicated. So you want to make sure they know it's not complicated. Oh, and then they'll give it. And then you start it. Bang, you're on. You're at step 1 of the process. Pat yourself on the back. I accomplished it. I got step 1 going. So sometimes Phil and I will refer to the Ed Sullivan show. And there was a guy with plates that would
Oh,
come
the plate man.
with sticks on plates.
Get him on dowels.
Had him on dowel rods.
Right.
He was good too.
It's like 8 or 10 of them boys out there. Yeah.
They would spin these things, and of course, the stick was to get 1 going, then 3 going, then 5, and then just keep on. And of course, he would on purpose let one of them start to wobble.
Yeah. Hey, slow down.
The audience is going, "Oh my god! Oh my god!"
Get back there.
And he'd run down to the end and get it going again. Well, in a way, you've gotten your who's important to you plate spinning, and it will never let you down.
No.
It,
Yeah.
it will always be there for you.
Always come back and spin it again.
Just run back over there and zoop, and it's going again, and you're back at home base, and you're going, yay! I'm back at the beginning. That's what this stuff is like. What this is. But if you don't establish it,
Mm.
I can't imagine not establishing that.
At this point, Kevin, it would be really weird.
That would be. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Weird to go work with a group and not start this way.
Oh no, I would do that. I just couldn't do that.
Yeah.
No, no.
Oh no.
And I want to be introduced. I don't want to hear about their company. I don't want to hear about the team. I don't want to hear their name. I want nothing. Nothing, folks. No social niceties whatsoever. Every single bit of that is an opportunity for stuckness.
Yep.
That's all we're saying. Every single bit of that is an opportunity for them to get more stuck. It's not my job to invite them to do things to get more stuck. My job is to get them less stuck, unstuck if you want, and start with who's important. And then after we fluff that out, then we're off to the yucky stuff like fear. And to finish up, to let you folks know what we're establishing is a sorting. So in the lower right, you sort who's important. In the lower left, you sort yucky stuff. And you can already see on the slide, in the upper left goes relief stuff, and in the upper right goes success stuff. So you're teaching them how to sort as well. And so at the first of this, many of the people, if not all the people in the room, will not know how to do that.
Yeah.
They won't know that sort. It's not a hard sort. They just don't know it. So
yeah, they haven't done it yet. They're doing it now.
So now they're going to learn how to do that sort. Why do I say that? Because you're going to ask them to sort later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're setting it
up. You're setting them up for sorting. In the nicest of ways.
Yeah. Yeah, very benevolent, very chill, as they say. Yeah,
very chill.
Yeah,
we're very strict. We stay on the script so we can be really flexible later on. But initially, no, we stick to the script. And that's how you do this. So what this is about is really, it's not about yucky stuff. It's about you learning how to violate social norms.
In the nicest of ways.
Yeah. And they'll love it.
But you're not sitting back, putting your feet up and smoking a cigar. We're not doing that.
No, and you're not walking in with muddy feet or
no.
No. It's just that you're starting in a spot they're not expecting.
Yeah.
Think about it. They're not expecting. You're throwing them a changeup. They thought you were going to throw a fastball, and you're throwing.
They're a little off. Well, in Aikido, part of Aikido is getting people a little off balance.
Right, and
they're going to feel a little off balance in the beginning.
Unless everybody in the room already knows all this stuff.
Yeah, right.
Which is fine, but
yeah, great.
That's not what we usually run into. No, we don't run into that. But other than that, they haven't seen this stuff,
yeah, right.
And they certainly they've showed up to the meeting going, "Oh, shit."
Yeah, they've got an expectation.
Well, an expectation that they don't like it.
Exactly.
No, they don't. We know that.
They come in already girded up for their defenses are up.
Yeah. So
we talked about the amygdala before. Amygdalas
the amygdala was last time. So we're going to soothe that amygdala first, and then we're going to gently pop over and talk about yucky stuff out there.
Yeah.
People in general's yucky stuff. And so learn that. Make sure you learn that and keep that. And now you're on with those two moves, and it's literally two moves. You've now gotten a really good start. Now you've gotten your start. You're halfway through the first loop of the process. Right. You're halfway through it. Doing you well. So if you're a mind to learn this stuff, stay tuned. We'll have the course out soon.
Yep.
it's it's us saying it, but I think it's pretty interesting. In much more detail about what's going on behind the scenes. So, and if you think you're of the kind that would like to do this work, put your shingle out, go find you some stuck teams to work with. They're out there.
Oh yeah, no, no doubt about that. You're not going to run out of them.
And there's plenty of stuck teams, and you don't have to start with the high power. Local community level stuck, and work up from there. And that's how we did.
Yeah.
Started with the local community stuff. Yes, I've been to Wall Street. Yes, I did I got to thinking about that, Phil. There's proof of me doing this. There's a documentary
Oh yeah,
of me doing the gun people versus
yep.
the not gun people.
That's the name. I think it's entitled "A Civil Conversation About Guns." That's the title.
A civil conversation. I was doing this, and literally the people, the camera people and stuff in there were afraid.
Yeah,
they were afraid of what might happen. I had this process. I knew this process in and out. So I wasn't afraid at all. I knew just what was going to happen, which they became friends. So I knew that was going to happen. But the people who were the camera people and the producers and stuff like that, they were afraid. They thought there was going to be fisticuffs or guns, or some kind of violence or something. They really were afraid of that. And so don't start there. I would not recommend you start there, but but start like I did, with your community groups, and churches. Of course, I ended up doing a bunch of angry bishops once, so they were.
Yeah. Oh man, fun there.
Yeah, lots of fun there. I still remember them. So no, you can do this. You can practice it a little bit at a time. Community work, and move yourself on up to the more high powered, what some might consider dangerous. Now, I knew for a fact that I was in no danger whatsoever. So I can assess such things. So maybe you can. Anyway, if you're a mind to do this kind of work, join us. Please do.
Yeah.
But if you're not, that's okay.
Yeah.
It really is okay.
Not for you. That's not for you.
It's a different kind of human that will do this work. And I guess in the end, I'll say if you play this a lot and you practice it a lot, you'll finally get to where you can get woke up at 2:00 in the morning and go do it. You probably need a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I would think.
And then you go do it.
Maybe a little breakfast,
Or grab a protein bar.
Yeah, protein bar, piece of toast. I don't know, something like that. Banana.
That's the perfect breakfast.
Yeah, yeah.
Toast and protein bar.
And you're good for
and a coffee.
Turn me loose. Turn me loose.
Now I'm on. I'm heading and go do this. So yeah, we could, because we would know where we're going to start, and that's what we want you to learn how to do. We want you to learn how to do this too. So we'll be back next week. We're doing this every week forever.
Yes, we're heading to the upper left next week.
For some reason, we got it in our heads that pro-social was needed in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know where we got that.
It must have came to one of us in a dream or something like that.
I'm being sarcastic, but it's all over the place. Of course, we need pro-social. And eventually we'll get to the real Eleanor Ostrom ProSocial stuff.
Mhm.
But that's a few weeks down the road. But not if you buy the course when it comes out.
Yeah, you can get all
Get
at once.
there faster. We'll gradually present it along here in the course. So I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Us yapping along. Phil will take this, do some
Do some
kind of,
short clip stuff with it.
put some stuff mainly on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Isn't that mainly where you put stuff now?
That's where most of the people that want to do this kind of work are hanging out.
Now, this is in the vernacular is B2B. They literally go a capital B, the numeral two, and then B, meaning business to business. And so the business to business world is over in LinkedIn. So that's where you would advertise this kind of stuff. And the people interested in doing this kind of work are over there.
Yeah, they are.
Fun work. Go do it. Go practice. Practice who's important. Practice checking stuff. We're not kidding. Practice things. That's really important.
There's no substitute for that, for
Really important.
getting out and trying it. Yep.
So we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Yeah.
I even remember how to stop the recording this time.
Man.